Today's horoscope from Academy, Gemini, January 14, 2023. Mars turns direct today, after retrograde motion since late October. With this shift, you are less inclined to hold on to resentments, and while further inner work is necessary, it's clearer what exactly that is now. Mars will stay in the background of your solar chart, directing your attention behind the scenes for a while longer, and it makes sense to reorient yourself. Mars will enter Cancer on March 25th, when you're more likely to push your plans ahead. But starting now, you are less inclined to nurse your wounds, and getting enough time to rest and reflect is more straightforward. Your desires become clearer. Take decisions slowly and ease yourself back into action for the best results. Distractions aside, today can be quite favorable for research, understanding, and observation. Stormy skies have been the main view from all perspectives of the cosmos in recent months. Luckily, one of the most important turning points in 2023 has already arrived as of today. This is because our red planet, mighty Mars, will turn direct and no longer be retrograde. He has been spinning in the heights of Gemini, causing us to face karmic lessons around how we communicate our desires with others, especially in our personal or romantic lives. Any situations or conflicts that emerged in recent months will also be able to be sorted out going forward. Be prepared for a cosmically charged workday. Focus on feeling self-assured with your investments in your career path when Venus in Aquarius sextiles Chiron in Aries. The sextile may accidentally touch upon a professional insecurity, but since this is an otherwise positive aspect, it could be a healing transit. Moving forward with a pep in your step might be easier than usual when Mars stations direct in Gemini later today. Now direct, you may feel more motivated and less mentally restless, which will allow you to feel clear-headed in your professional pursuits. As Venus moves into her final 2 weeks in your financial sector, it is with the bravado a friendly aspect with Mars earlier in the week has given you. With the Sun still 7 days away from turning the solar spotlight onto your financial situation and money matters, this is giving the planet of money time to fuel your financial confidence, update your desires and expectations, and work to turn those desires into reality. If you feel like a flirt already, you're likely to impress yourself with new abilities today. You may not even intend to flirt, but others will think you have. Your eagerness to engage with others, especially of the gender that appeals, will be insatiable. Sometimes this energy overwhelms others. Be sure to get some aerobic exercise in order to experience the finest rendition of this aspect. Your lovingness and genuine care and concern will radiate and touch others deeply. Ignore shortcuts. You may find that on this particular day you are more in touch with your creative muse. That is wonderful for you, for with those creative channels open, even a little, you will find that you are able to see new approaches to solving old problems. While your logical thought processes might fail to see the benefits to unleashing your creative potential, when the results are assessed, you will find payoffs from the uniquely different approaches you utilized. So don't be afraid to follow the path least traveled. While Mars is still in a nostalgic and reflective part of your chart and will be for another 2 months, his direct turn today is significant. When Mars returned last August, it was to begin what should have been the 6-week wind down of your current Mars cycle and preparation for his return to Cancer. Those 6 weeks came and went, and a retrograde turn has seen him move away rather than towards your sign. That changes today, and while Mars won't return until March, he is now back on track. Before leaving and wrapping up its first visit for the year, the Moon is spending its final hours in your communication sector at a friendly aspect to the Sun, just as he moves into his final 7 days in your relationship sector. A week after clashing as a full moon that put the spotlight on any balance issues between your personal and relationship needs, the Sun and Moon are back in harmony, working to give your emotional responses and relationships a voice. Our eyes in the sky. Action planet Mars turns direct in Gemini this afternoon, ending the retrograde story that began on October 30th, 2022. We could feel a bit frustrated and out of sorts as Mars begins to wind down from its planetary moonwalk. However, we're just feeling the tail end of drama that we've been dealing with for months. Our energy can now be restored and revived for the first time in a long while. You find work-related issues easy to handle, and using your alert and active mind you apply fresh impetus to projects that require concentrated team effort. You encounter very few obstacles in your personal life. Whatever you choose to focus your attention on, others are enthused by your innovative approach and appreciate the concerted effort you make. Your ability to understand any situation is good, and you're able to undertake any sort of mental task. Equally, you're communicating without any difficulty, so possible negotiations or similar conversations turn out to be successful. You also find your general level of curiosity is heightened, and you're keen to acquire knowledge and learn as much as you can. If you enjoy buying yourself something new, go ahead and do it. You have the means to do so, and it's about time you treated yourself. Your finances allow you to make a small investment, and you are sensible enough not to overspend. Get out and strut your stuff. Feeling attractive, you're easily persuaded to make the most of your looks with a visit to the hairdresser or the health club. You're amazed at the transformation. Feeling even more appealing, when you meet up with others your attractiveness shines through. You're aware how people notice you. It's not your imagination. Mid-morning, Venus in Aquarius sextiles Chiron in Aries, helping to heal our hearts. Today's interactions stimulate reminders of wounds experienced in past relationships. It may not be a romantic wound, but a platonic one. Perhaps the betrayal of a friend, or being ostracized from a social circle. Yet today, the trigger feels softer. The lessons imparted are gentler. We might find ourselves entrenched in a similar dynamic with a friend who keeps us on the outs. Yet we can see that this is not the kind of alliance we wish to have in our lives. Alternatively, it may be that we are now part of the in crowd. We can welcome someone into our sphere and thus repair some of the karmic damage we incurred in our youth. Intensify contacts to people, because they find you particularly likable right now. Plan your leisure time with family and good friends, and most importantly, make your plans together. You might feel like ringing up an old friend. The time is perfect to revive and strengthen old ties. This will make it easy for you to make new contacts and maybe even lifelong friendships. In the early afternoon, Mars stations direct after nearly 2.5 months of being retrograde. During this time, we have had to contest with stalled projects, low libidos, weakened immune systems, and an inability to achieve progress in the causes that are important to us. Finally, these issues start to fall away as Mars begins its forward march. Take a mental inventory of the past few months and note lessons learned. We may have discovered that we were putting our energy behind work initiatives or relationships that were not worth the effort. Having received a clearer picture, we can proceed in the arenas where our actions are able to make a real impact.